Hey Ariana, hey Nick, happy wedding. I just wanted to walk you through the quality control inspection process that I perform on your knife, give you a couple pointers, and then walk you through your new kitchen knife. And I'll also walk you through your new cutting board. This isn't your actual cutting board right here, but it should be coming. Well, we're going to be dropping it off, obviously, at the wedding. So this is my personal home board, and it's just like yours. So let's run you through our standard QC process. So this is a piece of magazine paper. Let me get a fresh piece of magazine paper. Give me a sec. All right, there we go. Let's do that again. There we go. Now you can see just how sharp your knife is. I've already inspected it, obviously, so I know it's perfectly sharp. Sometimes when the paper gets folded up, it crinkles like that. So let's do the rest of the inspection. I'm going to make sure that these black oxide coated hex screws are perfectly flush with the handle. They are. I'm checking to make sure that there's no gaps between the blue Richlight, the red G10, and the tang of your knife. There aren't any. I'm checking the front of the handle here to make sure it's nice and soft, so it's really comfortable in hand. We're checking this area right here. It's called the choil. Okay, this is where when you're holding, a pinch grip, a lot of professional chefs have a callus on their index finger. We soften it to make sure you don't, so it's nice and perfectly rounded. We do the same thing on the spine of the blade. Beautiful. We run our spine rounding, all the way through to the tip, and the reason for that is that way the tip actually moves through food a little bit better. So now I'm going to just inspect the edge grind on this knife to make sure it's perfect and nice and even. It is. And the last check I do is on my fingernail. This is a perfect chef's knife. The way I recommend storing it is on a knife magnet, or you can do it in a knife block if you prefer. But every time you do it on the block, it's like it's cutting on a piece of wood. It's fine. But again, mold, so mold can develop inside knife blocks. So we don't really love that. And also you're dulling your knife every time you put it in. So we recommend the knife block. I like the wooden ones. You put the knife on spine first and then rotate it like that. And then to take it off, take the edge off and then pull it off like that. Again, just like that. Okay, cool. The other option is to store it in its leather sheath. Okay, so this is important. A lot of people, when the first time they're doing it, they're not super careful. Just make sure you're keeping the knife parallel to the sheath as you're putting it in. You don't want to be putting it in like that. You want to be putting it in nice and flat. Cool. So remember to match up the AR on the knife and the AR on the sheath. There's two reasons for that. Number one, it's not going to fall out because the top of the leather sheath does not have a welt. The bottom of the leather sheath does have a welt. You can see that starting right over here. It goes all the way through the bottom. That is an extra piece of leather, and that's going to prevent you from cutting through the leather sheath. The knife will fit in upside down, but we don't recommend it. Again, number one, it won't hold if you try to put it in upside down, and number two, it could theoretically cut through the top of the leather sheath. Nobody's ever done it, but this is not a first that we want anybody to experience. In terms of sharpening, I recommend using an electric tool like this Work Sharp by Ken Onion. It's a great tool. The little handheld sharpeners that cost like 30, 40 bucks are really bad for harder steels like Elmax. So we grind this, heat treat this knife up to about 61, 62 Rockwell. A typical German knife or French knife is going to be 56 or 57 Rockwell. There is a massive difference in terms of hardness, and also these knives are significantly thinner behind the edge. So you really never want to use one of those really cheapy type of sharpeners. In the city, MTC Kitchen on East 43rd or 45th or something like that is great. As is Japanese Knife Imports, or alternatively, bring it to Ali and I can resharpen it for you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Everything you need to know to make this knife last forever is in this little booklet, so have a look, and I hope you enjoy your new knife. Can't wait to celebrate your wedding together. Thanks so much. See you soon.